Okay guys, so we're going to take a look at the 45-degree hip extension. It's a great exercise for isolating the glutes. Now, the clue is in the name, 45 degrees, which is the angle the lower body is going to be at throughout the set, and extension, we're extending the hips and really working these glutes. Now, before we go into the exercise, we're going to be placing the feet on that foot plate and moving the Achilles up towards those pads, and that's going to lock you in place. Now, it's important that I get this the right height. There's a lever here that brings that up or down. Okay, now I need to set that so that my hip flexors sit on top of that pad and I can access a really good range of movement and I can work the upper body freely. So, we can use this machine if we're doing an exercise called a hyperextension, but that's a lower back exercise. We need to be thinking very different things when we're using this to train the glutes, okay? We'll cover the hyperextension as a separate video. So let's get into that start position. Feet are about hip width apart on the foot plate, and I'm just going to allow myself to hang there. I'm going to tuck my chin, and I'm going to be very conscious of the fact that I need to contract the glutes to straighten out the hip joint there. The minute I start to arch, that then becomes a lower body exercise, okay? So we're actually trying to round the other way to discourage that. So I'll do a few reps. Okay, so as I'm hung over there, in that lengthened position, my glutes are switched off. What I'm trying to do is activate the glutes and then contract them as hard as I possibly can, which is going to help straighten out the hip joint. Now, you're going to be tempted to use your lower back to come up, but we really need to be disciplined to keep that lower back out of the movement and just squeeze those glutes as hard as you possibly can. Okay, it is quite a technical exercise, difficult to get used to, but when you crack this, it is fantastic for glute development. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through what I'm thinking throughout the set. So my glutes in this position are relaxed. I'm going to activate them and then squeeze the living daylights out of them as I come up. Now, I'm not thinking about coming up. I'm actually thinking about squeezing my glutes to straighten out the hip joint. I'm not using any weight at the moment because I have gravity pushing me down. Now in my head, I'm thinking of my glutes as wet sponges, and I'm trying to wring them out, squeeze every last drop of water out of those glutes. Relax, reset, activate, squeeze. Now trust me, this is a very challenging exercise. You might not need to use weight for quite some time. When you really find you're mastering that movement, we can add weight. So again, we go into the same start position. I'm going to hold that weight there. Chin tucked. Release. Activate. Squeeze. Release. Activate, squeeze, release. So there we have it, the 45-degree hip extension.